I made the biggest mistake of my life on a Tuesday morning. I did not know it then. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was making the right choice. But I was wrong. So very wrong. My name is Lena. I am 25 years old. This is my story about dreams and regrets. When I was in college, I had one dream. I wanted to work at Sunrise Magazine. It was the most famous magazine in the city. Every writer wanted to work there. I dreamed about it every night. I sent my resume to Sunrise Magazine 50 times. They always said no. I was not good enough. I was too young. I had no experience. But I never gave up. Finally, after 2 years of trying, something amazing happened. They called me. They wanted to meet me. My heart was beating so fast I could barely speak. The interview was on a Monday morning. I wore my best dress. I practiced my answers all weekend. I walked into their beautiful office building. The walls were covered with magazine covers. I felt like I was in heaven. The editor was a kind woman named Miss Davis. She smiled at me.
Lena,
She said.
we like your writing. We want to give you a job.
I could not believe it. My dream was coming true. I was going to work at Sunrise Magazine. I was going to be a real writer.
You will start as a junior writer.
Miss Davis said.
You will write small articles about local events. The pay is $3,000 a month.
I said yes immediately. I was so happy I wanted to cry. I had my dream job. I was finally a writer at Sunrise Magazine. My first month was wonderful. I wrote about art shows and new restaurants. I talked to interesting people. My articles were published with my name on them. I felt so proud. But then something changed. I started looking at other jobs online. I do not know why. Maybe I was bored. Maybe I was curious. I saw a job at City News. They wanted a reporter. The pay was $4,000 a month. That was more money than I was making. I started thinking about it. Why was I working for $3,000 when I could make $4,000? Maybe I was worth more money. I applied for the job at City News. They hired me quickly. I was excited about the extra money. I quit Sunrise Magazine after only 3 months. Ms. Davis was surprised.
Lena,
She said,
you are making a mistake. We were going to promote you soon. We believed in you.
but I did not listen. I was thinking about the money. I thought I was being smart. City News was different from Sunrise Magazine. I wrote about accidents and crimes. It was not as interesting as writing about art and culture, but the money was good. After 6 months at City News, I saw another job. Tech Today wanted a writer. They paid $5,000 a month. They wrote about computers and phones. I did not know much about technology, but the money was great. I applied for the job. They hired me. I quit City News and started working at Tech Today. I had to learn about computers quickly. It was hard work, but I was making more money. This happened again and again. Every few months, I found a new job. Each job paid more money. I worked at Finance Weekly, then at Sports Daily, then at Food Network magazine. I was always looking for something better. More money, better benefits, a nicer office. I was never happy with what I had. Years passed. I changed jobs 12 times in 5 years. I was making $8,000 a month. That was good money, but I felt empty inside. One day, I was walking past the Sunrise Magazine building. I stopped and looked up at the tall windows. I remembered how excited I was on my first day. I decided to go inside. Maybe I could say hello to Miss Davis. Maybe I could see my old desk. The security guard recognized me.
Lena,
He said.
you're back. Are you going to work here again?
I went up to the editorial floor. Everything looked the same, but the people were different. I did not recognize anyone. I asked about Miss Davis. The receptionist told me she had retired last year. A new editor was running the magazine now. I felt sad. Miss Davis was gone. My old life was gone. I had left this place for money. But what did I get? Then I saw something that made my heart stop. On the wall was a photo of the writing team. They all looked happy and proud. In the corner, I saw a name that shocked me. It was my replacement, the person who took my job when I left. Her name was under the photo. Nina Carter, senior editor. Senior editor. The job I wanted. The job I never got because I left. I asked the receptionist about Nina. She told me Nina's story. Nina had started as a junior writer 5 years ago. She never left. She worked hard and got promoted every year. Now she was the senior editor. She was only 26 years old. Nina had my job, my dream job, the job I threw away for money. I felt sick. I walked out of the building and sat on a bench outside. I started to cry. I realized what I had done. I had my dream job. I was working at Sunrise Magazine. I was writing about things I loved. But I gave it all up because I always wanted something better. I looked at my phone. I had 16 jobs on my resume. But I had no real experience. I never stayed anywhere long enough to learn well. I never learned real skills. I never made good friends at work. I was 30 years old now. I had been working for 8 years, but I felt like I did nothing important. I wanted money instead of following my dreams. I thought about Nina. She had stayed at Sunrise Magazine. She built her career slowly. Now she had everything I wanted. She had my dream job. I went home that night and looked in the mirror. I saw a person who was never happy. A person who always wanted something better. A person who forgot what she really wanted. The next morning, I made a decision. I was going to stop running. I was going to find one job and stay there. I was going to build something real. but it was too late to go back to Sunrise Magazine. Nina had my job now. I had lost my chance forever. I learned something important that day. Sometimes your dream job is right in front of you, but if you keep looking for something better, you might lose what you already have. Now I work at a small newspaper. The pay is not great, but I stay here. I work hard. I learn new things slowly. I try not to look at other jobs online. Every day, I remember my time at Sunrise Magazine. Those 3 months were the happiest time in my work life. I had everything I wanted, but I was too foolish to see it. Sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side, but sometimes the grass is perfect right where you are. You just have to stop looking over the fence long enough to see it. Have you ever made a choice you regret? Share your story in the comments. And if this helped you improve your English, like the video and subscribe for more English stories written just for learners like you.